Good morning. Today is Wednesday, March 17th, and I am so tired. Yesterday was a good day. It was a lot shorter than Monday at the clinic, but I tried jumping, I tried balancing, and I'm finding the more I wear them, the more I use them, that going up, whether it's up steps, jumping up, incline, it's very hard for me because I have never been able to use my calf and lower hamstring muscles before, and now I can with the devices, which is insane. I have very severely underdeveloped calf muscles just because there's no way my body can use them. My feet physically are incapable of moving in any way that activates the lower hamstring and calf muscles without the devices. So I can't stand on my toes, I can't point my toes, my range of mobility around my ankle is extremely limited. So now that I'm using the devices, I am using muscles I haven't used in 25 years. So it's been difficult, it's been frustrating just because I want to do all these things. I want to do what my physical therapist is doing, but obviously I just don't have that strength yet. And that's something he's told me that's gonna just develop over time. My body has these physical limitations and I just need to basically keep practicing, keep getting stronger, keep using the devices, and then with time I'll just be able to do these things. I just need to remember to always keep my core engaged and to do them right instead of just trying to do them the easy way or the way my body is naturally used to doing. Another issue we found is that I do tend to point my toes inward, and that's something that my body just has always naturally done. It's very common for people with club feet. He has one club foot, and he said before the ExoSyms his club foot would always do that as well. So I have two. So I have to work on double the correction. But you know, it's just something I need to be mindful of, especially when I'm going up or when I'm jumping up, or else it just ruins the entire balance and the alignment of your body. But other than that, I think it's going well. I am extremely sore. Like I said, my upper calf muscles and lower hamstrings have never been used before, and now that I've used them twice, 2 days in a row, they are in pain. So whenever I put on the ExoSyms, they hurt. They are on fire. Even just walking, like walking with the ExoSyms is easy to me now. I think I've not mastered it, but I've done it very well. The people at the clinic seem very impressed when I walk with the ExoSyms because I walk with them very well. But now, because I'm just so sore, even walking requires a lot of physical effort. So definitely I'm gonna have to keep wearing them more and more than I thought I would need to while I'm at home, just so that I can develop those muscles that I need to develop. I definitely need to do more ab workouts when I get home too. So gotta get that hot girl summer bod ready and hopefully just keep it year round. let's just maintain that so that I can keep being strong and using my devices and being healthy. So I'm excited for that life change, and that is our unmade bed. Diana and I, we gave up after the second day. We're like, why are we gonna make the bed? We have to be at the clinic by 8 a.m. It's like a 40-minute drive. So with that, I will get going. Yesterday was kind of frustrating with some things I couldn't do, but I'm not gonna let that get to me. I know with time I will be able to do them, so I'm excited to see what they're gonna have me try today, any new things they're gonna teach me. I believe he said agility and maybe running today if the weather's nice outside, so we'll get to it.
first time.
Right, I know.
There's several stages of right.
I know.
When was the last time you ran?
I don't know. Like, actually ran? Maybe when I was like 19, I tried like running a track like by my house.
It's been 6 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right now you have little bucking broncos under your legs. You're coming at this with a percentage, like Leon was saying. A percentage of you right now is wonderful, but you're really moving into an area that you don't have the equal power to. You just started 2 days ago.
Yeah.
This is a huge leap forward.
Yeah.
And you may find the treadmill in your case is harder than what you're about to do a little bit later. It's good to feel both.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
You're getting a little this that's pushing you. In your case, the more flat you can be,
Okay.
scoot your feet flat and engage the cuff, you'll feel less of a bucking bronco.
Okay.
Little stallions.
Good morning once again from our messy room. Today is Thursday, March 18th. I don't know why I keep saying the date, if obviously yesterday was the 17th. Today's gonna be the 18th, but yesterday was a good day. It was a long day. At the clinic, we did some agility movements, so trying to move side to side really quickly. That was difficult. I always end up tripping in front of my feet normally, and now with 2 ExoSyms, one on each foot, they're so bulky that it's also very tempted to trip on them, but I am starting to learn how to use the ball of my foot. I had never been able to use it before just because my lack of balance. Typically the balls of my feet are, there's no strength, there's no sturdiness in them, so I usually avoid them. If I'm gonna stand, I typically stand on the very heel of my foot. But now with the ExoSyms, I can use the ball of my feet. So just learning how to trust it and use it is going to take some time, but I'm starting to get more comfortable being on the ball of my feet. I also tried some running. It did not go as well as I hoped. I really thought I was going to have this big, beautiful movie moment where I just take off and run and I cry happiness because, oh my God, I ran for the first time ever. And it didn't go that way at all. You know, first they had me, I think on the treadmill a little bit, and they even put a mirror in front of me in the treadmill, and you could just see my knees kept knocking together. They kept bulking in together. I don't know if you've seen Forrest Gump, in the beginning of the movie when he's a lot younger and he wears those leg braces. And then he meets Elvis, and because his knees keep knocking together, Elvis gets the idea of that's how he's gonna dance all sexy on stage. But that's how I felt. Minus no sexiness, none, just a bunch of knee knocking, and it sucked. I also, like yesterday, I noticed that when I do things that are more difficult for my body, my feet tend to turn in. They turn inwards towards each other instead of like this, they go like this. And that just encourages the knee knocking and encourages the wobbliness, and my body becomes unbalanced. So now I've noticed more when I walk pigeon-toed or when I stand pigeon-toed. So I'm trying to actively correct it, whether I'm wearing the devices or not, just because that's something I need to fix so I can make the most of the ExoSyms. I also tried bounding. So like, you know, doing that kind of motion. I'll have video footage of it, and it was hard. I feel like I have so much energy built up in me, and there are so many things I want to do, but when I actually try them with the devices, it's like I can't. Like, I know what in my head what it's supposed to look like, I know what my body wants to do, but as soon as I try to move or attempt it with the devices, it's just very difficult. I think by the end I was able to get a better grasp on it, but it was hard. So running, inclines, going up, anything, basically anytime I have to use my lower hamstring or my calf, it's very difficult. But you know, with time it'll strengthen and I'll be able to do these things. After the clinic, we did buy another pair of shoes that fit the ExoSyms, so that was exciting. And then we went to Washington State Park and we walked some trails, nothing too steep, but I did go up some inclines, I went down some declines, I walked on uneven ground. I really had to use the restroom by the time we got to the park, so I just took off from the car to the restroom, and I was going pretty fast. I felt like I was doing that bounding motion. It was also downhill though, so I feel like it was easier for me to do that going on a flat surface that was like a little bit declined, not too much. But still, it was exciting to be able to do that because my trainer said, you know, the purpose of me being able to move quickly right now is not to run marathons. It's not to go running every day. He doesn't want me to do that. The purpose to be quick is in case I need to run across the street because a car is coming, or I need to run because I forgot something, you know, things like that. Nothing long endurance. So, you know, a bathroom emergency definitely lit the fire in me and got me going. So that was cool, and it was just so beautiful to be able to walk amongst nature and not look down. If I ever take a walk on an uneven path or even an even path, I'm never looking at the world around me. I'm always looking at the ground, just because I need to see where my feet can step, if there's going to be any unevenness, if there's going to be any bumps, inclines, declines, just so that I could avoid them or prepare my feet to like my feet typically like crunch up to like prepare for the impact and stuff, and so it's nice to just be able to relax them in the device, not worry to where I'm stepping, and just look around at the trees, at the sun, at nature. And it's like, okay, I get why people hike now. I see I see the enjoyment and the beauty in it. So that was very exciting for me. But because I did so much knee knocking today, by the time we were done with that, my knees were just killing me. I took off the devices, and on either side of my knees, there's a lot of bruising. So I contacted, you know, the clinic. I texted Ryan, who has been extremely helpful, and he told me it was probably just because of the knee knocking, but we're going to take a look at it today. So we'll see how that goes. Yesterday, I also finally cried. I knew this was going to be an emotional journey for all the best reasons, and because it's frustrating and tiring, and that's absolutely true. But I'm happy to say that I did cry yesterday. Happy tears, not sad tears. Diana and I, after we went to go buy the second pairs of shoes, there were two elderly women crossing in front of us in the car. We were sitting in the car and they were crossing in front of us. One woman was in a wheelchair, and then the other lady was pushing her. And I told Diana, oh look, that's us in the future. And obviously meaning that I was going to be the one in the wheelchair and she was going to be the one pushing me. And then I stopped and I realized that I had been accepting my future to be so immobile. I truly thought up until yesterday that I was going to be either wheelchair bound or to a walker that you can then sit on afterwards, or I was gonna have to get my feet amputated. And to realize that that's not the case, that with these devices I can be mobile possibly for the rest of my life, just because it also so happened yesterday after I was done with my session and we were waiting, to kind of be released or to go, another patient came in with the ExoSyms, and he was also doing physical therapy and learning how to use them for the first time. And he was an elderly man, and just seeing how much older he was than me, and how he's trying to improve his quality of life, it just showed me, I have so much more left to live, and I'm very thankful I'm able to do this now in my 20s instead of doing it much later in my life when I'm elderly. I really want to make the most out of my life, and knowing that I can do that without pain, and that, maybe I don't have to be in a wheelchair forever one day, and maybe I don't have to use some type of, walking or assistant device, is really exciting. And then Deanna and I were also talking about how we wonder if I went a day without the devices and I was in a lot of pain and I were to put them on, if suddenly the pain will go away. And I told her, yeah, I think so, because that's how they work. That's how they're intended. And then I told her, but I don't know, this whole time I haven't been in the pain that I'm used to. And I realized I don't think I'll ever have to be in that severe of pain as long as I keep wearing the devices. So every morning, every day of my entire life, I would wake up with pain. It just depended how severe it was that day. And with these devices, that doesn't have to be the case. If I go through a day with pain, it's because I chose not to wear them. Versus before, pain was never an option. And now it is. Now if I feel pain, it's because I decided not to wear the device, and that's on me. Whereas before, I would just have to deal with the severity of the pain, whether or not I was active the day before. Sometimes I could have done nothing all day. I'll wake up, and just by stretching in bed, I could tell, oh, today is a day I will not be able to walk. Today is a day my feet cannot bear weight. Why? I don't know, just because that's the anatomy of them. That's how some days are good days, some days are bad days. And to know that even if I do wake up on those bad days, that it's gonna be a good day because I have the ExoSyms, it's really exciting. And so I just realized all of that yesterday, and it brought a lot of happy tears. And it was discouraging to not be able to run or to do so many of the things that I wanted to be able to tackle on this week. But it's also very encouraging to have people like Deanna, my wonderful trainer Leon, and Ryan at the clinic to remind me of the small victories that I am making. Because it's really easy to be like, great, I can walk in the device, it's a big deal, I want to run, without taking the time to really be like, oh my God, I mastered walking in these devices and I barely got them Monday. It's really exciting, and it only makes me more hopeful to see how I'm gonna do in 6 months from now, a year from now. I'm just very excited to see the changes my body's gonna go through, because it's very sore now. Like my quads are sore, my obliques are sore, like everything's sore. I need to work on my core more, but I'm willing to do that. I finally drove in the devices yesterday. I'm going to drive in them more today, and I'm just very, very happy. Today and tomorrow are my last days at the clinic, so it's feeling, a lot more real, that I'm going to have to go into the real world with them soon. But I'm very excited. Let's see what they'll have me do at the clinic today. Yesterday was very tiring, so I can only imagine they're going to put me to work today, but I'm ready for it. It's going to be a good day. We'll check in soon.
was great. That's a long. I mean, that's a lot of.
Good morning. Today is Friday, March 19th. It's my last day at the clinic today. I'm bummed to be leaving them. I told them I wish I could take them with me, but I know we're going to still be communicating virtually, so at least that's nice. Yesterday was a really good day at the clinic. It was very good. I walked around outside the clinic in a lot of uneven terrain with Leon, and I think I did a good job. I do think I was getting a little overconfident in the beginning and started relaxing my core, and then, you know, little things he picked up on that he corrected me and he gave me more tips. It was really, really nice. Once we got back to the clinic, he gave me some more exercises to do, and then he really wanted to see me also push kind of like a sled that I wasn't even able to move, I believe, on the first or second day. So the fact that I was able to move it yesterday was really exciting. He seemed to believe in me more than I believed in myself. So it was really, really nice. Yesterday we also drove to Portland, which is really awesome. We went to Pell's bookstore, which is like a massive bookstore that I'd always wanted to go to. I was always intimidated by the size of it just because it is a really large bookstore, but I felt confident that I could handle it. And when we got to Portland, Oregon, I was running around because I really had to go to the bathroom. I've been having to go to the bathroom more frequently and urgently than before. When we mentioned this to Leon, he said it's probably because I'm engaging my core so much and I'm not used to it, that it's like pushing down on my bladder. So that makes sense. But we got there, it was rainy, it was cold. I was, you know, bounding, like running very quickly to try to find a restroom. And I think that, mixed with the excitement of going to the bookstore, made me get lazy. So I was standing and walking around the way I usually would, slouched down, kind of leaning over everything just to find books. Liana and I would also pass around the little crate we were carrying for all our books and all our merch, and it was pretty heavy. So I felt like when I was carrying it, one, I didn't want it to bump against the devices, and two, it was just heavy in weight. So I felt like it was pulling me down or leaning me forward, and I'm not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to engage and lift with my core and my butt. So I think it was just lazy walking, because at the end of that, I was very tired and my feet were in pain the way they would usually get in pain. So I texted that to Ryan at the end of the night, along with how my legs bruising has been. So my legs have been bruising because of the devices, and I just sent him updated pictures and told him my thoughts of how I went at the bookstore, and he told me that that was probably the case, and for me to not be discouraged, because over time I will just remember better and that pain will subside. So I gotta remember just to stay positive. I felt like I was a little Debbie Downer after that. I was very disappointed because I was in that pain that I'm so used to being in, and I really wasn't expecting it. And also I know why, but one of the last dreams I had last night, because I dream a lot, one of the last dreams I had last night, I saw friends or acquaintances I hadn't seen in a while in a dream. I think because I saw them on Instagram or something, and they didn't know I was there. And one of the people in the couple got an ExoSym device for one of her feet, and I overheard her say that she was nervous to go out in public because she was nervous to wear the device on her foot that she described using the R word. So she said, "Oh, my R word foot." And they didn't see me, they didn't know I was there until she said that, and I was wearing my devices, and they looked at me and they were like very guilty, and they were like, "Oh no, we don't mean it, like that's not what." what the devices are, and I think I had buried that feeling deep down. Yesterday when we were running around and all the times we've been outside that I've been wearing my devices, I haven't really cared about the way people look at me or how they see me, and I think as I've gotten older I've cared a lot less. I knew when I was younger I would care all the time of wearing my braces or my wheelchair or my walker out in public, and I think I've had the privilege of passing off as able-bodied for so long that wearing these devices, that's no longer the case. You know, you see me wearing them, you suddenly know in an instant that I'm not able-bodied. And while I am personally okay with that, because I'd much rather be able to walk and hike in the future and run in the future, I think somewhere deep down in me that kind of just came up last night. And I really didn't care at the bookstore, I didn't care anywhere we've been of the way people look at me, but I think just in my dream having that happen, it's probably like, okay, maybe I do care subconsciously, because of course, you know, we all care about the way we look and the way people perceive us. And I've told Anna and Taylor that I'm absolutely going to wear my devices whenever I can, but I don't see myself wearing them to the club or to a house party or to meet a cute guy on a date. Like, I just don't see myself wearing those devices in those instances. And you know, the reasons are probably obvious. They do not look cute, they don't go well with clothes, with cute clothes. And so I think, you know, when I'm present, I truly don't care what people see me when they see me with the devices on. But I think subconsciously that's something I'm still gonna have to get over and just acknowledge that it's gonna take time, and then there's gonna have to be a balance between when people ask me, especially strangers, a balance between me being rude and being like, it's none of your business, and a balance of also trying to be understanding that they are just genuinely curious, and maybe I should just educate them on what they are so that they don't ask the next person, why are you wearing this or why are you using that, blah blah blah, because the truth is it is none of their business, and they have no authority to ask you why you're wearing it or if you had surgery or anything. It's none of their business. But I also know sometimes these people don't have bad intentions, they're just genuinely curious, and you just have to, you know, I think it's really gonna just depend on my mood that day and the way the person asks of how I respond to them, just because I already have had that happen in public. So I think it's just something emotionally that I'm gonna have to, you know, come to terms with and find a way to balance out, just because it was, my feet were such a big, you know, insecurity for so much of my life. I don't think now, as I've gotten older, I don't care, but part of me still does care, clearly. So that was it. That was just some emotional insight I feel like I had. Today Leon said it's gonna kind of be a gym day. I think he said he's gonna give me a lot of more exercises to do back home. We're gonna go over some of them together there at the clinic. Today's just a day to ask him any other questions or any other movement that I'm curious about that we haven't gone over, or maybe we could review. So I'm really excited about that because I love doing exercises. And then I have my final appointment with Ryan just to see how the device is fitting me, how it's going. I think that's when he's going to take a closer look at the bruising and the chafing that I've had with the devices to see if there's any final adjustments we need to make, just because after today I'm not going to see him. So any other maintenance that my devices will need in the future, I'll just have to send him videos and pictures, and then I'll have to mail in the device and then they'll mail it back to me. So obviously that takes a lot of time, and even though it's not super pricey, it's still money. So I'd rather just get things fixed while I'm here. Yesterday he did loosen up the portion under the knees for me, just because they were so tight and the bruising, it was just getting painful to the point where I had to stop walking at the park, not because my feet were tired, but because my knees were hurting. So hopefully we can just make any final adjustments to get the devices just right before I leave, because I would hate to have to send them in a week after I was just here. But I think it's gonna be a great day. We're gonna see a lot of other people today, so I think it'll help get my mind off things and I'll be able to leave on a more positive, uplifting note. I'm really excited for my last day at the clinic. So yeah, it's gonna be a great day, huh, Diana?
Yes.
Yay! Okay.
How do you feel?
I think I needed to hear Ryan and Leon tell me to appreciate the victories I've conquered instead of, oh, I'm gonna get emotional.
It's okay.
Instead of focusing like everything I can do, focusing on everything I've been capable of doing, and then just how they said take it day by day. Ryan said it perfectly that at the bookstore I was so overwhelmed by everything else, and I was still trying to, you know, be engaged. I was still trying to do everything right, but it just wasn't aligning correctly. And you know, he said that right here I'm very focused and very determined on doing things correctly, but as I go back home and life picks up again, and especially post-COVID when I'm running around all day like I used to be, still remembering to keep that focus and the well-being on my health. And I think these devices are literally a physical reminder of putting my health above everything else, which was usually never the case. I always tried to keep up with everyone and with everything, and then what if my feet were tired at the end of the day? That's just how it goes.
Because you had to.
Because I had no choice. And so I'm just really excited to see how much my body, and I think my overall happiness and confidence and well-being, I already love myself, and I love my body for everything it's been able to do for me. But I think seeing the changes over time is going to be amazing. So I do think I'm going to continue having people record me. I think whether he likes it or not, Josue is going to be the new cameraman in the future.
Absolutely.
And I'm just excited to, like, this new chapter of my life is here.
Yeah.
Like, I've been waiting for it for so long. And now it's here. Like, now it's my turn, you know, they did their job. Now it's my turn to...
And you've been doing
and I've been
so much work.
I've been putting in the work, but now I think going home with these, it's real, and it's very exciting.
Yay.
Yeah, so thank you.
Hi. So beautiful. I love you.
I love you too.
You're doing so great.
Thank you.
Hi there. So today it is Monday, March 22nd. It's been a few days since I last recorded some footage. I just wanted to recap everything I did on Friday at the clinic and after the clinic. So it was pretty much just a workout day. On Friday, Leon had me do some exercises that would increase the strength in my target areas, which are my core, my glutes, and my hamstrings. I believe in parts of the video I was referring to my calves. So the part that I'm targeting is right behind the knee, so it is like the upper calf, lower hamstring, and that's the area that I really need to target that I have never used before this past week. But it's exciting to say that in just a full 7 days after initially getting the devices, I can feel my confidence building. I feel like my body is warming up. The areas that had never been worked before are being worked, and it feels great. So that Friday we went over some past exercises. He gave me some more to do. He gave me a list of certain ones he for sure wants me to do every morning, so that's great. I've been proud to say I've been maintaining that, and I'm going to make sure I continue to do so. We ended, I think, on a pretty high note, as going up inclines is still my struggle. And he did offer me another attempt to maybe try running on the treadmill again, but honestly, I knew how it was going to turn out. I knew it was going to be great, and again, we wanted to end on a high note, so I didn't go for it just because I didn't want to be sad that I still cannot run. But as Leon has said, and as Ryan has said, running will not come naturally to me just by running more. My main goal will probably continue to be strengthening the areas I need to strengthen, continue using the devices on a more daily basis, and then over time my body will just gain enough strength itself that I can try running again later on. But in order for me to run, I just should not run right now because I won't do it correctly. I'll end up hurting myself, I'll tire myself out. So it's better for my body just to gain strength, get toned, and then I will try running at a later date. So that's what I did Friday. It was a very emotional day, it felt overwhelming to leave the clinic. I didn't want to. I wanted to bring Ryan and Leon with me. Of course, they were so kind to say that I have their phone number. I can text them whenever I want. Ryan wants me to continue sending him video recordings of myself walking, going up and down inclines, doing these exercises, just to make sure I'm continuing to use the devices as intended. There's two, the devices as intended. So I'll keep doing that. And then both of them also sat me down and talked to me about getting a trainer or a physical therapist in the long run, just because that would be a good option to make sure I'm hitting my target goals instead of me kind of just going around doing exercises here and there. I think having someone create a plan or a schedule for me will keep me on track to make sure I'm always progressing upwards. I think I will more likely contact a physical therapist just because they'll more likely be covered under my insurance versus if I just get a personal trainer. I don't think it'll be financially feasible. The rest of the day we just spent it with family friends. So I had a wonderful lunch up at Gig Harbor with a family friend who treated us at her gorgeous home, and then we spent dinner with my amazing friends Taylor and Austin. Taylor's parents, or her family, invited us over for dinner at their house, and it was just such a great time. They are such good people. And it was also really exciting because that day is the longest day I had spent with the devices on my feet. So from 7 a.m. when we walked out the door up until I think 9:30 p.m. I had the devices on me. I will say probably around 8 p.m. at night, the devices started feeling a little heavy to me. I was sitting a lot, obviously, because we were at the dinner table by then. So I've noticed that if I just sit with the devices, that's when my feet are more likely to fall asleep, because your foot and the devices are immobile. You have no ankle movement. They're just flat. They're like an L shape, right? So you have no movement. I could only wiggle my toes. Other than that, I mean, my feet, I think, were just tired. They were a little fatigued of just being in that same straight position all day. And so I was ready for them to come off. But I'm proud to say that's so long because I have been with the devices, and I know if I just keep wearing them and if I stay somewhat mobile within them, it'll get better and better, and I'll be able to stay with them on even longer. Now I am back home, and I know it's my turn to do the rest of the hard work. I need to keep training, keep being physically active, and keep preparing and strengthening my body for these devices. There's a lot of things I cannot do. Still, there are a lot of things I can't do. But I think all the encouragement Ryan, Leon, Diana, everyone gave me at the end of last week just reminded me that yes, there are a lot of things I can't do, but there's also a lot of things I can do now that a week ago I couldn't do, that 2 weeks ago would have been out of question. Even today I was folding laundry with the devices on, and I was standing for maybe 45 minutes just folding clothes because it was a big load of laundry. But I was just able to do that, and I noticed the difference when I don't have my devices on versus when I have them on. My entire body is just unsupported, weak, flimsy, and it's just falling into all the old bad habits I had to do to overcompensate my deformity. But as soon as I put them on, I am taller, literally, because they're big, but I am stronger, I am supported, and I just feel more confident. But it's also very difficult because you have to be mindful with every single move. So everything I do when I have the devices on, there are 10 steps in my head, right? Making sure my pelvis is out, my core is engaged, making sure I'm wiggling my toes so I'm not holding tension in my feet, making sure I am just following every single step and advice Leon gave me. So it's a lot going in my head, but I know over time it'll be second nature. I think people with disabilities are so used to overcompensating just to get to everyone else's level that I dealt with the pain, I dealt with the discomfort, I dealt with immobility. Like, it was just something I had to go through. And so a lot of work to correct all the wrong ways in which I was holding my body, but because it was the only way I could, so that I could walk and try to keep up with everybody else. But now, for the first time, truly, because of these devices, I am focusing on myself and my health first. Like, I'm the type of person who always put school and work first, my health second. If I had a long day at work, too bad, because it's work and it needs to get done. If I would come home and have to rest my feet up for the rest of the night because I couldn't bear any weight, it was just a consequence. And I think now, to know that I have literally the devices and I have the strength that I'm developing to prevent that from happening is incredible, and it's forcing me to put my health first. So I cannot allow myself to get overwhelmed by work, by family, by friends, by, you know, other things in life when I'm not even taking care of my feet first. Because now I have no excuse. Now I have these incredible innovations that are going to open the world up to me. And I want to experience all of that. Things, I want to go hiking, I want to be able to run, I want to go to an amusement park and not need a wheelchair. I just want to clean the house without getting tired. Just to be able to clean my apartment without limping and being in pain. I need to do that. I want to do that, and I'm so excited for it. And I know this new journey in my life, this whole new other portion of my life, is only going to revolve around improving myself, improving my health, putting myself first, so that I can experience things fully. And I think people with disabilities tend to forget that. We like to keep up with people, we like to be like, we're fine, we're okay. But I am now learning how to use my voice and demand the accommodations I need, demand the help I need, and now it's my turn to do the work. I don't know, I feel like I said the same thing just 10 different ways right there, so I'm gonna go ahead I'm gonna end it right here. Thank you for watching these videos. Thank you for keeping up with the crazy week and a half. I just really hope that anyone who has any questions about my experience with ExoSym devices, feel free to leave a comment. Just thank you so much for watching. I hope all of this was informative or helpful to you. I have a long journey to go, so by no means am I the expert for ExoSym devices. No way have I accomplished everything I want to accomplish. This is just like truly the beginning of this journey. So I really hope it was informative and helpful to you. And I also hope if you are able-bodied, you got to see what it's like to go from being semi-immobile like I was, and how difficult it really is to retrain your body to do things the correct and healthy way. So anytime you see things or places, or you hear people speak a certain way about accommodations that are needed for people with disabilities, I just hope you have now the knowledge and the human decency to always stand up for disability rights, because I feel out of all of the marginalized or different groups of people who are fighting for their own voice and for their own rights, there's always disabled people within every type of community. Thank you again for watching. I'm going to end it right here. Yeah, I hope everyone has a great day.